Flight 990. New radar data of the final terrifying moments with the Egypt Air jet. And new questions about what really happened in the cockpit. Life and death. The surprise deal that spares Matthew Shepard's killer from the gas chamber. What Matthew's parents did and why. Your money. New action to clear up the confusion over long-distance telephone rates. And the home of the brave. They saved the world. Quiet heroes who jumped into history. Tonight, 2 wars at once.
From NBC News, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw. Reporting tonight from Los Angeles.
Good evening. Who doesn't wonder what it must be like in the passenger cabin of an airliner out of control, the final terrifying moments? Well, based on new radar evidence, the final moments of the 217 people on board Egypt Air Flight 990 must have been beyond terrible. Despair, then some hope, then the fatal dive. NBC's Robert Hager still is at the scene tonight. Robert, what do you have for us?
Tom, an astounding scenario, if you believe the radar, so astounding that some really wonder whether those radar hits are accurate. None of us sure, but it looks like the pilot might have been struggling to regain control of the plane and climb back up and get out of trouble, but it didn't work. The plane broke up and fell into the sea. And now investigators hope the plane's black box recorders might help explain what's going on. First pictures today of that search for the recorders.
Yeah, that's pretty loud. That's pretty loud.
Listening to the actual sound of their underwater pingers. Testing the big underwater camera that will try to locate the boxes. And tonight, 2 ships leave for the scene, try to put the camera in out there tomorrow, and maybe, just maybe, have time for 2 dives for the recorders before bad weather closes in again for the weekend. Navy Admiral W.G. Sutton concerned about safety of the divers.
My number one concern here, and I have explained this to all of the sailors involved, is the safety of these young men and women who are going to be out on scene conducting this incredibly dangerous event. We do not want to increase this tragedy any more than it already is.
Leaving investigators to pore over that radar. How the plane hurtles down from 33,000 feet at nearly the speed of sound, then briefly recovers, climbing back steeply to 24,000. But now it's over. Drops again, apparently so fast this time it breaks up. Parts floating to the sea. Just returned from sea, a fisherman aboard this boat has told the FBI he heard 2 loud booms on Sunday about the time the plane crashed. Not much talk any longer about a thrust reverser causing this. Most believe the plane would have banked sharply if that had happened. And law enforcement agencies say initial checks now show nothing suspicious about baggage, passengers, or cargo, and no signs anyone could have tampered with the plane at the New York or Los Angeles airports. In Los Angeles today, Egypt Air Flight 990 flies again. Different plane, but same flight number, bound for New York and on to Cairo. First time since the fatal flight. And at a church in Cranston, Rhode Island today, some relatives of the victims attend a memorial service. Emotional tribute to 217 lost in this still unexplained disaster. As for the radar, if that track's accurate, nobody knows what it really could mean. Disastrous mechanical problem that the pilot's trying to overcome, a sudden decompression, or if it was a terrorist attack, and there's no evidence of that. Could somebody have been trying to break into the cabin or actually have broken into the cockpit? Just no way to know any of this until the black boxes or significant wreckage can be brought to the surface. Tom?
Thanks very much, NBC's Robert Hager tonight. At the other end of the country, in Seattle tonight, residents still are very much on edge after yesterday's shooting in a shipyard that left 2 dead. The gunman has not been caught. Police don't even have a suspect, but today the police chief said he is confident that this shooting was a calculated and deliberate act. It was not random violence, and the gunman, he said, does not pose a danger to local residents. Whatever the motive for the Seattle and the Honolulu shootings this week, they did reignite the bitter debate over gun control, a debate that has gone to a higher decibel count with the presidential election coming on. NBC's Lisa Myers has more tonight.
With the echoes of gunfire still ringing in Seattle and Honolulu, gun control forces in Washington opened fire. First, the Attorney General.
We've got to get past the point of rhetoric and concepts and come to the reality. Guns kill.
Then the Vice President demands action on a gun control bill passed by the Senate 6 months ago.
How many tragedies does it take before the members of the Republican leadership bottling up this legislation get the message?
Republicans call that a cheap shot.
It's particularly galling to have the Vice President of the United States trying to make hay on this issue over the last two incidents that couldn't have been stopped no matter what gun control laws you pass.
The gun bill approved by the Senate would require background checks for those buying guns at gun shows, child safety locks on handguns, and ban juveniles convicted of a crime from ever owning a gun. But that bill was defeated in the House, and weeks of negotiations by Judiciary Chairman Henry Hyde so far haven't produced a compromise. Why? Republican leaders don't seem to want a deal, and Hyde charges Democratic leaders don't either. But with 65 million handguns on the street, some say what Congress is debating won't make any difference anyway.
Unfortunately, we're way past the point where incremental steps will have much effect on gun death and injury in America.
The only way to stop the violence, says gun control advocate Josh Sugarman, is ban handguns.
America's gun problem is a handgun problem, and everybody knows it. Until we have the courage to talk about it, basically what we've seen in Honolulu, Seattle, that's America's future.
Congress's future: leave town for the year without passing any form of gun control. That leaves Democrats with a campaign issue and leaves Republican leaders in good standing with pro-gun forces they count on to re-elect a Republican Congress. Lisa Myers, NBC News, the Capitol.
Also on Capitol Hill tonight, the president of the National Rifle Association making a case for fewer controls on guns and more controls on criminals. Tonight, the president of the NRA, Charlton Heston, in his own words.
Hawaii has the most stringent gun control laws in America, very possibly in the world. You have to register ammunition for a gun in Hawaii. And the tragic incident the day before yesterday demonstrates that that doesn't help things. It's a nice placebo kind of. You can suck your thumb and say, well, we've got all these gun laws, that maybe we should pass a couple more. That would do it, wouldn't it? It won't do it. Passing gun laws is almost a complete failure. We have 22,000 gun laws on the books in the United States. The prosecution rate, the arrest rate is pretty good. Prosecution rate is practically zero. The federal government must take in hand the problem of prosecuting arrested criminals. It just simply, the whole structure can fall apart on that simple problem.
That's the president of the National Rifle Association, Charlton Heston, tonight, in his own words. And in Wyoming, another high-profile case has had a surprising twist. The parents of Matthew Shepard, the homosexual student who was murdered, intervene in the sentencing of Aaron McKinney, who was found guilty of the killing. More on this tonight from NBC's Pete Williams.
In a dramatic twist, Matthew Shepard's own parents today do all they can to save the life of the man who killed their son. Today accepting a deal from the lawyers for Aaron McKinney, urging prosecutors not to seek the death penalty. Shepard's father says the family decided to show mercy, that the time has come for healing after their son's murder.
He was the victim of a brutal crime motivated by hatred. The outcome of this trial will never bring Matthew back to us, but we believe that justice was served today.
Inside the courthouse today, Dennis Shepard read a long and emotional statement. Addressing McKinney directly, he said, "I would like nothing better than to see you die." But he added, "I give you life in memory of one who no longer lives." The first discussion of a deal actually came yesterday after the jury found McKinney guilty. His lawyers met with the Shepards and said McKinney would accept life in prison with no chance of parole and in return would give up any right to appeal. Matthew Shepard's mother, Judy, then urged prosecutors to abandon their effort to seek the death penalty.
I will never get over Judy Shepard's capacity to forgive. And it is something that certainly as Christians we wish we had. I do not have that particular gift of forgiveness that Judy has.
Civil rights groups tonight praised the parents for their decision ending the trial.
If there ever was a case for capital punishment, this was it. And that makes the decision of the Shepherds all the more remarkable.
McKinney will now join Russell Henderson, the other man involved in Shepard's murder, already sentenced to life in prison after pleading guilty.
The trial now over, the Shepherds are making another plea tonight, urging Congress to pass tougher laws against hate crimes. Pete Williams, NBC News, Washington.
And when we come back, the family. After the disaster, when the headlines fade, how do family members get on with their lives after a disaster?
When they first started out, you were afraid to smile. And then as time went on, you could at least smile, and then eventually you could laugh.
Public tragedy, private pain, the family in depth tonight. And dialing dilemmas, cutting through the confusion of those long-distance ads. What you need to know to keep from getting ripped off.
So instead of paying a separate commission every time you trade, you'd pay an annual fee, trade all you want.
All I want?
Yeah, virtually unlimited.
Oh, really?
Remember the financial plan we're working from here, Dad. The point is long-term capital appreciation.
I know.
You just don't want you sitting by the computer all day buying and selling stocks.
Yeah. Show me how I log on to your research.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah, investing is serious business, Dad.
I promise I'll do my homework, okay?
Everyone knows what it's like to be congested, but now there's a new kind of relief. New Afrin No Drip nasal spray. Ordinary sprays drip. Afrin No Drip targets congestion and stays there for fast, powerful relief. New Afrin No Drip.
Amazing things can happen when you push the right buttons. Introducing the 240 horsepower S2000 Roadster from Honda.
I need strong arthritis relief. I want soft skin. Now I get both.
Introducing new Arthricare hand and body lotion. Fast relief of minor arthritis pain plus special skin softeners. Arthricare lotion. Pain relief plus moisturizers.
All in one.
A significant discovery in eye health may be lutein, a nutrient found in these healthy foods, perhaps as vital to your eyes as the beta-carotene in carrots. And now, Centrum and Centrum Silver are the only leading multivitamins that have lutein. So whatever your age, you can help maintain your precious sight. Look into Centrum and Centrum Silver, now more complete with lutein. Also look for Centrum Herbals, the only herbals backed by Centrum Science.
New tonight at 6, Washington residents will only pay $30 to register their car, starting in January. What should you do if your tags expire before then? Find out tonight at 6 on Northwest News Channel 8, where the news comes first.
The West Wing at a special time, tonight at 7.
NBC News in depth tonight, the family. After a public tragedy, when the cameras and the reporters have left, how does a family cope with its private and lasting pain? Since the crash of Egypt Air Flight 990, we have all watched as those families struggle with what they have lost. It's happened before to other families. How do they move on with their lives? NBC's Ann Thompson reporting tonight, in depth.
This week, 5 families reached settlements in the 1994 U.S. air crash near Pittsburgh. One paid over $25 million. The largest individual passenger settlement ever publicly reported. But family members who've lost loved ones in air disasters say money offers little consolation.
My husband's not here one more day. Every day I wake up. That's what makes it worse.
Lynn Romano's husband, Ray, perished in last year's Swiss air crash off Nova Scotia. The grieving mother of 3 took the $135,000 initially offered by Swiss Air and started the International Aviation Safety Association to make commercial flying safer. She hopes her group and the wrongful death lawsuit she's filed against Swiss Air will keep other families from her agony.
I want to save one life. They don't seem to care about that because there are not enough people dead yet to make the changes.
Lawsuits, just one step in the grieving process for families who say it never really ends. They go to court seeking answers, changes, even justice for their unexpected loss. From 1982 to 1998, there were 71 fatal accidents involving U.S. commercial airliners. Over 2,500 people died. Lee Kreindler, one of the country's leading aviation attorneys, represents families from TWA Flight 800, Swiss Air 111, and Pan Am 103. A bomb in a suitcase, unaccompanied by a passenger, exploded over Lockerbie, Scotland in December 1988, killing 259 people on the Pan Am plane, 11 on the ground. Kreindler won a $550 million settlement for the Pan Am passengers' families, and in doing so, he believes improved airline security.
There have been many changes in security procedures, and the case certainly materially contributed to that.
Another step in the process, forming support groups. 12 years ago, Reverend Ronald Lund helped start The Spirit Lives On for the families of the victims in the crash of Northwest Flight 255 in Detroit.
I can remember when they first started out, you were afraid to smile. And then as time went on, you could at least smile, and then eventually you could laugh.
Lynn Romano waits for that day, wearing her husband's wedding ring salvaged from the sea.
It's mine. It's a circle of love. And that's why I needed it back. It's the only really intact part I did receive back.
Now a symbol of promise that his death was not in vain. Ann Thompson, NBC News, Chicago.
Up next, the government is taking a hard look at those long-distance phone service ads. Are they giving you a wrong number? And later, our special series, Home of the Brave. They saved the world. A hero of World War II who battled the Axis and racism.
Home Furnishings by Living.com. Room designed online by Clive Sirkin, psychic. Introducing Living.com, home furnishings and design ideas to express your personal vision for the home. Living.com, your home, your design.
Great meal. Uh-oh, gas pressure. What now? What else? Gas X, with the most powerful medicine for fast relief. Nothing works faster.
Hey, want to go for ice cream?
Gas X, the power to fight gas fast.
Are we going to have a good time tonight?
Bye, Dad. Thanks for jumping in and watching Tyler.
Bye, Mommy.
There
he goes.
If you knew you were going to be a babysitter today...
Oh, glad it wasn't my teeth.
You would have made sure you used Fixodent.
Come here. Oh, what are you doing?
Hey, smart move. You did use Fixodent. So now you're ready.
I gotta wait.
For just about anything. For an even better fit. Fixodent and forget it.
Thanks for making a leave. For almost 5 years, I had a hard time walking. I went from doctor to doctor, but even after surgery, I had some pain. Tylenol worked for a while, then quit, and the pain came back. Finally, a doctor suggested a leave. Within a week, I was dancing all night like I hadn't done in years.
Aleve can stop pain all day with just 2 pills. It would take 8 Tylenol to do that.
Now people say I'm a walking advertisement for Aleve.
All day strong, all day long.
6 months ago, I wouldn't have considered doing this.
Introducing PharmaSure Joint Formula with ingredients that help rebuild existing cartilage.
We made it.
PharmaSure, inspired by life, created by science. Only at GNC, Rite Aid, and Drugstore.com.
For 98 years, GMC has designed trucks for people who drove them not because they were trendy, but because their lives depended on them. Heroes who measured a truck by its power and its determination. That heritage lives in the Yukon Denali. A luxury SUV with a 255 horsepower V8. It meets the demands of professionals and the standards of history. The Yukon Denali by GMC.
Tomorrow, letters to Christopher Reeve. His wife Dana talks about the inspiration the paralyzed actor received from letters sent to him after his accident. Tomorrow and today. It's Like Today, only later. Later today, weekdays on NBC.
Federal officials are taking on a numbers issue that consumers have been complaining about in huge numbers. Advertising for a long-distance phone service. Some ads promise low rates when you dial a special number, but do they really deliver on what they promise? Here's NBC's chief financial correspondent, Mike Jensen.
You see them everywhere, ads for long-distance calls for only a few cents a minute. But are they really a good deal? Today, a hearing in Washington that suggested some might not be. Ray Lipman of Scottsdale, Arizona says he got ripped off on a call that was supposed to cost him only $5.65.
When I got my bill, it was for $27.75.
Turns out the company never told him its low rates weren't available in Arizona. All this has become a huge problem. One American family in 5 now uses a cut-rate long-distance service, spending $3 billion this year alone. And a lot of them are very unhappy. The FCC has gotten 3,000 complaints in less than 2 years from people who say they've been cheated, that the ads are confusing or misleading. How much has it cost them?
We believe that it's a very large number, perhaps tens of millions of dollars.
So what can you do to protect yourself? First, see if there are any extra fees beyond the charge per minute, like a monthly minimum or a special connection fee for each call. Find out when the low rate actually kicks in. Sometimes you don't get it until you've been on the phone for 10 or 20 minutes. Also, the government says watch out for services that promise you a 20-minute call for 99 cents.
What they don't tell you is, if you talk for a minute, they still charge you 99 cents.
Be wary of big discounts. 50% off could be the discount from the company's highest rate, not the one you already pay. One good way to sort through all this? If you have a computer and access to the internet, there are websites where you can figure out the lowest rate for the kind of calling you do. Above all, read the fine print. And if you have questions, contact the company, or you may end up on the short end of a long-distance call. Mike Jensen, NBC News, New York.
On Wall Street today, there was cautious optimism on the eve of an important employment report. So the Dow was up more than 30 points today. NASDAQ was up more than 27 points, its 5th record close in a row. I'll be right back with a look at the home of the brave, Americans who help save the world.
Hello? Server? Got it.
Total participation, and this means everyone, all working to make sure you get the absolute best experience possible.
Mr. Thurber, you're all set.
Introducing 5-Star, a new approach to selling and servicing cars and trucks. It's better. We'll prove it. Only where you see these signs.
Choosing a cranberry juice is confusing.
Premium cocktail, 27% juice, corn syrup. Avoid the confusion. Trust Northland to always be 100% juice.
Northland is pure genius.
Northland, always 100% juice.
Nobody does it like you.
Okay, it's your call. Use your new caddy vac with all the tools on board, or slide the caddy off. For a lightweight, nimble machine. It's a nice choice. Deep down, you want Hoover.
3 minutes from now, a heart attack victim will be rushed into this emergency room. Medication will be injected. IV fluids will be needed. The patient will be protected from infection. Breathing will be assisted. And one more life will be saved.
Mrs. Hanson? Yes. I'm Dr. Moore. Her husband's doing fine. Oh, I'm so glad.
Thanks to advanced medical techniques and a material we call plastic.
No one wants to see their cat suffer from hairballs. That's why Hill's introduces new Science Diet Hairball Control Formula, the only cat food with natural vegetable fiber to help control hairballs. Science Diet, what vets feed their pets.
Don't wait one more day. Ask your doctor now about Flonase nasal spray, or call 1-800-FLONASE. When your doctor writes your prescription for Flonase nasal spray, you'll be glad you took the time. Why wait? All you want is Flonase.
Nana, what are you doing up?
You try sleeping with all this heartburn.
But you took those Tums before I left.
Honey, I've been taking Tums since before you were born.
Nana, you could have stopped that heartburn before it started with Pepsid AC.
I do like eating your father's chili.
And you do like your sleep. So take one now. Pepsid AC controls acid all night.
Say, you ladies haven't finished all my chili. Oh, yes.
Start sleeping heartburn-free with Pepsid AC.
John McCain sacrificed everything.
I don't think there's any doubt that I was near death.
The life of a soldier turned senator.
Headliners and Legends with Matt Lauer, tonight on MSNBC.
This weekend, travel without packing. Join the adventure with National Geographic Explorer this weekend on CNBC.
Tonight we begin a series for the closing weeks of the 20th century. We're calling it the home of the brave. They saved the world. So much of the change in America in the second half of the 20th century grew out of the experiences of World War II. We'll begin there tonight with the story of a black soldier who was fighting a war on two fronts. Retirees, easy to take for granted as they relax in the Florida sun, tending to their lawns. But to overlook Walter Morris is to overlook an American hero.
I'm 78 years old now, and I can see the light at the end of this tunnel.
That tunnel is racism, and Morris, a retired bricklayer, has been fighting it all of his life.
You want to make sure you do everything right. If you don't, you could die.
Morris and his World War II buddies watching a film from January 1944.
The door frame shook.
And they are the stars. The first military jump ever by black paratroopers. The 555th Battalion, 16 men known as the Triple Nickels.
They dubbed us as the Sweet 16.
Joe Murchison.
We were just trying to prove that we were men and that we could do the job as well as anybody else.
This was a military that thought blacks weren't smart enough or brave enough to see battle.
Truck driving, yes. Waiting on tables, yes. Black soldiers were very good at that. Jumping out of a plane was an entirely different thing.
To prove otherwise, Sergeant Morris begins secretly training his troops in the same drills as the white paratroopers.
The white students would march off the field. The black students would march on the field. They were beginning to feel like soldiers rather than servants.
A general spots them, calls in Morris, and surprise.
Oh, yeah.
President Roosevelt wants the airborne integrated.
Oh. The Army is going to order me to activate a black parachute company. And would you like to be the first sergeant of that company? My heart almost burst right there.
It was never easy. White soldiers once arrested him for impersonating a paratrooper.
I said to myself, why are you risking your life? The reason I was doing it is because of my children and my children's children.
Glory, glory, what a hell of a way to die. Camaraderie. I feel a deep, abiding love for every member of that battalion.
They remember the 1,100 dangerous smoke jumps they made, putting out blazes started by the Japanese fire balloons in the Pacific Northwest.
Captain McDonald's squadron came in from the hump.
Bradley Biggs remembers that black Americans were really fighting two wars.
Our contribution was performed in quiet dignity.
And Walter Morris remembers jumping for the grandson that he dreamed of having one day.
That was one that we were thinking about when we said we'll make this world a better world for our children.
Walter Morris is certain it worked. His grandson is living proof. In coming days and weeks, other Americans in uniform and out who changed the world from that and also from succeeding generations. That's Nightly News for Thursday. I'm Tom Brokaw. I'll see you back here tomorrow night.
Nightly News is a presentation of NBC News. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world. From KGW, where the news comes first, this is Northwest News Channel 8 at 6.
Students console each other at Beaverton High School after a star football player suddenly dies from a heart problem. It is our top story tonight. Hello, I'm Carol Jensen.
And I'm Tracy Berry. Thanks for being with us. Brendan Fitzpatrick was only 18 years old. He was a starter on the football team and well-liked, so his sudden death comes as a shock to everyone at Beaverton High. News Channel 8's Walden Kirsch is live at the school tonight. Walden.
Well, Tracy, Brendan Fitzpatrick was a victim of the same heart ailment that nearly killed U of